Hey guys, how's it going? Kriparian here. Today I want to talk about pets and everything that I know about them, all the little bugs, all the little things, and all the overpowered things you can do with them. Because I know a lot of you guys play the Rangers because of me, and I know a lot of you guys played the Hunters prior to that and the WoWs. So I'm sure you guys can relate and curious about what's going on with the pets. Now I'm not like an expert on pets or anything, but I have paid close attention to what's going on, and I actually have gone through all of the pets many times now, just to see if I could figure out any, cool things about them. So let's get to it. Now, when it comes to pet control, there's a few very important things. So you can see that you have the active pet over here. This is a red moa, and there's a few control options here with the pet. So you have the attack my target. You have the one of four special abilities that each pet has. All pets have a unique one, even though it may not seem like it. I'll show you what I mean by that. You have the return to me and guard, and you can toggle that. Avoid combat, guard, avoid combat, guard. If you click avoid combat, your pet won't attack unless you use its number 2 skill on a target. Unfortunately, if you have some target like this and you use a skill that heals you, or that in this case just buffs you, so I'll just use this, the pet goes ahead and attacks. So this is like pretty dumb, because then you have to return to me, and it can be really annoying, especially with this avoid combat bullcrap here, because you can't even bind this. You can't bind, guard, and avoid combat. So if you're just sniping up a storm in Worldy World and you want to keep it on avoid combat, and you get jumped by some dude in melee, and you need your pet, because your pet does pretty significant damage, good luck clicking that little box. So hopefully they change that. Also, you can like stow the pet. It's like you kind of hide it and shit. I think I'm in combat right now, that's why it's not working. But yeah, you like hide the pet, but when you go in combat, it comes right back out. You don't have any control over that. So that's also pretty shitty. Now, one thing you've noticed is that there's this this like arrow thing that's also beside your weapon. So as a pet class, you can actually swap your pets. At least as a ranger. I don't know about the other ones. And swapping your pet, if you click on the pet, you can see the 2 pets that you have active. So right now I have the moa, and if I hit the pet swap key, which mine is bound to T, I'll go to this pet, which is actually I have no idea what that is. I think it's a lynx. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So I click that thing, and you see it has a 20-second cooldown. Now, swapping pets is a very important ability in this game for a few reasons. If you have a dead pet and you swap it out for your other pet, when you swap your dead pet back in, it will be fully healed, everything. When you swap a pet in, it's fully healed, it's brand new, no buffs, no debuffs, all cooldowns refreshed. Okay, that's a very important fact that I probably have to remember later in the video there. And when the pet is dead, when you swap out to a new one, you get a much longer cooldown. I think it's about 1 minute. However, these are only in combat cooldowns. Now I'm stuck in combat because of this mod here, so let me just take care of that real quick. Alright, so it's dead. And, okay. Alright, now it's dead. So now I'm probably going to drop combat. And just to make sure, I'm going to bring up my skill panels here. Yes, the combat has been dropped. So now, out of combat, I can swap my pet, and my pet has a 1-second cooldown. Now, you're probably asking, like, why is this significant? It's significant because, for instance, with the red moa here, I have a Furious Screech. Grant, fury to nearby allies. It's a pretty good ability. If you don't have anything targeted, it won't go ahead and attack something like an idiot. But, see, I can cast this, and I get 15 seconds of fury. Pretty cool, right? Yeah. Well, I can swap it out and swap it back in, and then cast it again. Look at that. It's now 20 seconds. So I can just stack this buff, like, infinitely. And I'm not even joking. This shit is, like, ridiculous. 38 seconds. We're still going. 1 minute. Over 1 minute. It's insane. So, out of combat, if you really want to sneak up on your opponent and do like a one-shot crazy burst combo or something like that, you can cheese the hell out of pet swaps. And there's a few other cool ones that I'll show you how to use here in a minute. So, That's pretty much the mechanics of pets. The pet AI is pretty horrifyingly bad. So when you have your pet window open, this is the pet management window. You see that this is the ability that I have, the fourth one here, Furious Screech. This is the thing that I've been using to add critical chance to myself and the rest of my allies, should there be any. But it also has 3 other abilities. And let me tell you, it spams the hell out of this one, which is the auto attack. It's always going to be the one adjacent to the one that you can control. But then these 2, they never get used. I don't know why. See, this is a healing ability. You'd figure it's like, oh man, I just took a look at the pets. This pet has a heal. Holy shit, 3,000 on a 40-second timer? I need this. Well, if you're counting on that heal when you're about to die, you're going to be sorely mistaken, and you're going to be releasing pretty early. The case is, for whatever reason, they just don't use these abilities. I did some PvP for like 2 hours today, and it just so happened that an hour in, I saw these green numbers on my screen. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Am I bugging out? No. It was the only time that I've ever seen this pet cast this heal. I've seen it 1 time ever. So this is a piece of shit. Now, when it comes to like frenzied attack, again, I've seen it like maybe a few times. It's not like, you know, one in a blue moon kind of deal like the heal. But again, it's not something that it's going to be using every 20 seconds. I don't know why it's like that, but it is. So be prepared for that. There's 2 super important things. Okay, 3 super important things that you need to consider when choosing a pet. Number 1 is the stats. So the stats are just like the stats on the player. You got the power, precision, toughness, and vitality. The base stat for one of these pets is like 1400. So if you have like 1400 like precision, that's like pretty low crit, you know, standard, and lots of vitality, so lots of life, you know. So that's pretty important stuff. Then you have the primary ability that you use. So in this case, it's Furious Screech. This is the ability that gives me crit. I can control this ability. This is very important. Every single pet has a unique one, even though it may not seem that way. And the auto attack. The auto attack is also very important. You can see the damage on it. It says damage 254. That's what you're looking for. The pet's not going to hit for 254 damage, but you know, if another one said 500 damage, that pet would actually hit twice as hard. So it's a comparable scaling thing that you can use to you know, make your decision. These 2 abilities, don't even look at them. All right, so I like to have this mode because of the crit. And I like to have my other pet, which I guess was a lynx, because of the damage. So you see lynx have pretty normal base stats. They have a little bit extra crit. Looking at their abilities, you have pounce, so your pet jumps on the target and leaps on them and bleeds them. And that's a really hefty bleed there. 26 seconds, 2 stacks, that's a pretty big deal. But more importantly is this. Look at this ridiculous attack. Slash. Alright, it does like a great deal more damage than the Moa attack, but it causes vulnerability every single attack. So every single time this lynx hits your target, that target's going to take more damage from all sources, including yourself, including the pet. And that's the attack that's pretty much going to spam all the time. And just, you know, it's like bite, you know, whatever, and then maul, it's like, these don't get used. So yeah, that's about it. Pretty cool stuff for this pet. But there's a lot of pets in this game. In the game, like in the actual game, not in the PvP. This is like the PvP area. You find pets by finding like green creatures out in the wild, so like juvenile and then whatever. You click on them and you get them. And where do you get them? You get them over here. Let me try to change this up here. There's like an arrow here, but that's covered up by that mob over there. So these are all the pets in the game. There's certain family of pets, and the family of pets, like for instance, you know, the cat that I have is a lynx. And if I get like a jungle stalker, which is also in the same family, it has the same base 3 abilities, but the one that you have control over is different. Now, the jungle stalker, in this case, is actually a very good pet because it is like the Moa, the red Moa that is, that has a buff, and you can really abuse this by refreshing your pet out of combat. But you can see that the attributes are pretty much identical. These 3 abilities are identical, and yeah, pretty close stuff. A lot of people like this pet over the lynx. A lot of people like the lynx because of the leap. But in general, you're looking at the cat family, and the cat family has, I believe, 4 cats. It's terribly ordered. Like, there's cat there, cat there. Yeah, I don't even know where the other ones are. They're here somewhere. There's like a panther. There's a panther. Oh, and there's the last one. There you go. 4 cats. So it's pretty interesting stuff. The jaguar actually gets stealth, but 6 seconds of stealth to me seem pretty pointless. So I don't know. It's just the pet that gets it. But yeah, you got the cat family. You got the boar family. The boar family has absolutely terrible crit, but really good vitality. And the it's like the pig family, more or less. They get like pretty weak attack. You know, 2 things that never get used, but they have forage or forage. I don't know how to pronounce it. And this is a pretty cool ability. It like creates an item that you can pick up. It's like a skull. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the skull. Strike fear into nearby foes. So it's like a one-time use item. 4-second fear. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah, but it's a pretty long cooldown. But oh man, that's a cooldown reset. We're not gonna mess around with this one because there's an even cooler one to mess around on. This is the Siamoth or Siamoth. I don't know, man. This is alien shit to me. But anyway, so we're gonna pop his version. We got some plasma. This is actually the one I was looking for. So let's pick up this plasma here. Plasma. Gain all boons. Holy shit. Look at this thing. Boom! Look at those buffs. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. And the cool thing is, you can just like keep refreshing this pet. You know, forage that shit. Again. Plasma? Oh, what's that? That's another one, you know? You can just drop 1,000,000 of these on the ground. Cue that shit up. Oh man, it's time to rock, you know? So cool shit that you can do with these pets. Especially considering with the cooldown reset. Now, that's the boar family. You got the dog family. The dog family is really good because of their high stats. So they have greater than average power, very high toughness. In my opinion, toughness is better than vitality because that reduces the amount of damage you take from attacks, not dots. Condition damage goes through toughness, but the regular hits, they're reduced, and they're reduced greatly in some cases. And it's better to have toughness because you can heal that damage. And also they got some vitality. So the dog family, or the canine, I don't know what it is, they have very good stats, and their damage is pretty good. 279, it's not cat damage, but some of these are really good. So check this out, like 2.5 second immobilize. So very strong abilities. There's also another one that I really like here. I think it's just the regular wolf. Look at that. 2 seconds AoE fear with this wolf. That is so abusive. That's good stuff. There's a few others, of course. Now, most of these are pretty like weak pets when it comes to taking damage, but if you've ever played the game and you want a tank pet, you just get yourself a bear. Bears have the regular attack. It's pretty decent damage. Their power is not very high, but their vitality is incredible. So they're going to take massive amounts of damage before they die, and out of combat, they're going to regen that stuff pretty quick. So for grinding mobs, if you want a tank pet, this is your go-to target here. And you got the bite. They don't cast this very much, but it does help. It's like a self-heal for the pet. And in this case, for the brown bear, you get a shake it off ability. So you take the bear takes a condition from the player to the pet. So very useful stuff there. Now these are all melee pets. There's certain range pets in the game. The range pets are designated range by the fact that their auto attack is a ranged ability. So you can see that the twin attacks on this Carry and Devour is range 900. That's going to allow the pet to attack from a range distance rather than go up to the target. These ranged pets are pretty much critical for large-scale PvE content, because melee typically takes much more damage than range, and if you can have a ranged pet, you can just leave it out there and worry about the other stuff in the encounter. That's in more cases more important than keeping your pet alive. Now, these abilities are not particularly good, but some of them are. Some of them probably have uses that I can't imagine. So use imagination on that shit. Now, when it comes to, there's like the Drake family. They're basically lizards. They call them drakes, but this is salamander drake. Does that look like a drake to you? I don't know. Maybe you guys have more of an imagination. Anyway, So their bite are pretty good, and their primary attack is actually pretty weak because this is like an attack where they have to stand still. So like in PvP, no one's ever going to get hit by this. Like never. But the damage is very high, so in PvE maybe you'll see some use. Drakes, like wolves, are also very high stat pets. I do believe the stats are actually very similar between the drakes and the wolves. So they're very, very strong pets. But I do prefer the wolves because of their abilities. I think they're a little bit more powerful. Let me see here. We have the bird family. So the bird family gets slash, no big deal. But because you have a very high crit, the slash actually does quite a bit of damage. This is probably right behind the cats in terms of damage. But because of the vulnerability on spam attack because of cats, you're really not going to match that with any other pet. And some of these abilities are pretty good, like 6.5 second blindness. That's pretty overpowered. So pretty good stuff here. I haven't really used the birds that much, but one thing